Hi, I'm Chris, 47 club runner, and haven't we been blessed with all these marathons over the last few weeks? It's been amazing to watch, and if you were fortunate to take place in one, or even if you've run a marathon before, you're amazing. And the reason I say that is because I ran my first marathon and it was one of the hardest things that I've ever done, so give yourself a pat on the back. So in today's video we're going to be talking about my recovery and what next. You know, what races have I got planned, because like me, after you finish the marathon you're getting those blues, aren't you? You've done all that training and you feel like just part of your life's missing. You know, you're supposed to be recovering, and I don't know, it's just so difficult to kind of not run when you've been so used to it for all this time. But we know obviously you have to kind of recover. So let's start with my recovery, and then let's move on to what races I've actually got planned. So my recovery, as I say, it's my first marathon. Wasn't 100% sure what was going to happen. You know, I didn't know how my hamstring was going to be, because if you watch the video, if you haven't, I will put it up there and I won't spoil it for you, but it does involve my hamstring. I was planning to do a week no running, and like most of us, as I said before, you know, running's become a major part of my life, and not doing it is a struggle. So I thought about going for a run on Wednesday and then put it off to the Thursday. Went for a run and my thighs were really tight. Hamstring was quite tight, but I ran 4 miles, loosened up a bit as I went along, but you know, maybe that was just a bit too soon. So I kind of left it, went out dog walking on the Friday, and that had somehow eased my legs up, because, you know, straight after the marathon, stairs are our enemy. You know, walking upstairs, walking downstairs doesn't happen. You know, even trying to sit down, you know, that kind of bit in between, once you get past, I don't know, 20 degrees, you just have to let yourself drop, because you know, your legs are in bits. So on Saturday, went out, was just planning another 4 miles, and the GPS on my watch was completely out. I should have known. I was looking at my watch constantly, although I'm not wearing one, I'm just looking at my wrist. It was saying I was running a lot slower than I was, and stupidly I kind of upped the pace a bit to kind of counteract that, and it just felt kind of more of an effort. And when I got home, the GPS had completely, you know, malfunctioned, was about half a mile short, and at one point it said I went to kind of 12-minute mile in, and it kind of fluctuated between that and 7:20 mile in. So it was a massive fluctuation, although my kind of pace had stayed kind of constant. So I actually worked out that I'd actually run an average of 7:03, which was kind of way too fast, but unfortunately GPS lied to me. And then Sunday I was thinking about going out, but ended up taking a day off. And then Monday, fancied a kind of longer run, had quite a stressful day, so I decided to go out for a kind of longer run. Was planning kind of an easy kind of 10 miles, which it turned out to be easy, but ended up running about 11 miles, because halfway on the way back, met up with an old friend and we kind of just jogged and had a chat, which was, you know, quite nice. Legs felt a little bit heavy as you imagine towards the end, but you know, that's understandable. The reason that I wanted to do the 11 today is because I wanted to test my hamstring. I was a little tight on the run, but I stopped and kind of stretched it. After that, it was fine. So kind of London, I wish I would have stopped and done that same exercise, because as soon as I'd done that exercise, it kind of freed it up. So, but obviously hindsight, you know, didn't happen, but you know, I'm still pleased that I managed to finish it and get that medal. We've all got the marathon blues now. So what is the plan race-wise? Well, this Saturday is actually the start of the cross-country season, and it's the start of 4 races to run for my club, and it's at Epsom Downs. So I just wanted to make sure that my hamstring's okay. I'm still sitting a little bit on the fence whether I'm going to do it or not, but I will decide kind of later on in the week. My next plan is to do more park runs. And the reason that I want to do more park runs is because I want to kind of test myself to see what sort of pace I'm at, because I've actually entered into another race. And this is the kind of race that kind of takes me back to the beginning. And the reason it takes me back to the beginning is because it was my actual first race. I started running at 43, had 6 months training, and I entered into a 10k. And that was the Weybridge 10k. and that is the race that I've entered back into. It's in December, and I thought it's local. After the marathon, I thought to myself, you know, I'm not in marathon shape. What sort of shape am I in? So it was going to be a half marathon or a 10k. This happened to be quite local. You know, prices seem to have gone up. I don't know if you kind of agree. You know, it's about 35, 40 quid for a race these days. So let me know in the comments if you think that's expensive. I think it must have gone up £5–10, I imagine, each race, but it is what it is if you want to race and get yourself a, you know, another medal. So when I first entered that race, I was, let's say, very optimistic. You know, I'd only been running for 6 months, and I thought to myself, yeah, I should be able to run 36 as if, 38 minutes. I went off and I put myself right at the front like I was one of the elites. I think Scott Ogle was lined up, and I went off. I let some go because I looked at my watch and was at 4:30 mile pace. So I think I went through the first mile at 6 minute miling, the second mile at 6 minute miling, and then after that I was done. It was one of the hardest 4 miles and ended up coming in 42 odd minutes. So completely underestimated it, blew myself up. Seems to be a pattern that I've taken over my next races. So that's something I do need to sort out. So in this race, what is the goal? Well, it is to break that 38 minutes. You know, I was optimistic then. I think that I should be in 37-ish. I don't know if that's gonna be low, high kind of shape. And I just need to get out onto good training runs, do some park runs, work out what sort of shape I'm in. And, you know, if 6 minute miling is the way to go and I can hold that, then obviously I will run a PB time. Because my official PB, I think, is 40:12, but my actual we call it a timed PB or Strava PB, whatever you want to call it, is 38:58, I believe. So I know I'm in better shape than that. I know I can run a quicker time. So it's just a question of getting more races than I'm about. This will be race number 6, road race. So be interesting to see what I can do on there. Have you entered into any races? Because we know this kind of, you know, you get the blues and the only way to move on is to get into races. So let me know, one, how your recovery went. Have you any tips to, you know, for people recovering? And as I mentioned, what sort of races you'd entered into? Is it going to be a 10k? Is it going to be half marathon? Or is it going to be another marathon? You know, I've entered into the ballot, although I said that, you know, never again. But I'm looking forward to it. You know, running London again. Fingers crossed, you know, that I get into the ballot. I know it's very unlikely, but I do plan to run another marathon at some point and go for that magic sub-3 if that's possible. So let me know in the comments what sort of videos you'd like to see. I'm looking to share, as I say, more park runs, looking to share the cross country on Saturday. We'll wear a head cam and do a bit of a vlog as well. So I just want to kind of find out what you guys would like to see more, because, you know, it's difficult as a creator. I do want to get into more races, because, you know, that's ultimately what you're watching me for, is to race. You know, if you was just watching me train all the time and not see me race, then kind of what's the point? So I'm going to leave this vlog here. Hopefully I'll be able to run on Sunday. And as per always, I will speak to you soon. Onwards and upwards. Cheers.